Hi there, fellow dreamers, and welcome back to another video. This is a new update in my Building My Own Save File series. It's been a little while since I've worked on this, and I'm doing it again. So right now we're building Chen Mei Ling's apartment. For those of you who've never seen this series before, don't worry too much. I don't think you need to have seen it to really appreciate the speed build. I'll try and explain the personality of the sim who's going to be living here so that you don't feel too left out. Basically, my save file series is I'm building my own townies and default lots to replace the ones that are part of the game normally, just to make my game more customized and interesting, more diverse. I don't know. Just to have something different, because I actually don't really like the default lots too much. They're okay, but I don't really like them. So, yeah, I'm doing my own. Anyways, you can see we're starting on the kitchen. This house is for a runaway teenager called Chen Mei Ling. She is a transgender female. She ran away because her parents were really unaccepting of who she is. Because obviously she is a woman, but they refuse to accept that she's a woman. They call her a man. They treat her really poorly. So eventually she just decided, hey, I'm going to run away. And she has got enough money to rent this place out. Things were a little rough at first. She did a lot of dumpster diving, living on the streets, but she's a very clever person. She's got a lot of programming skill, a lot of not only programming skill, but computer skills in general. She loves playing video games, and she's very good with that kind of thing. But her other gift is gardening. She really loves gardening a lot. So this house is very much built around that. There's going to be lots of plants in here later, you'll see. You can see here I'm trying to give it a more really cheap, terrible apartment, like rented bad apartment kind of vibe. I'm using the dirty like apartment wallpaper from City Living. I ended up having to kind of base the build very much around these grungier kind of wallpapers because sadly The Sims 4 doesn't really have that many like dirty wallpapers like this. And even these ones, they're not that dirty. I kind of would like to go even worse, but you know what, this is what I got, so this is what I'm working with. So although I originally wanted the house to have a more white look to it because the windows and the front door are white, I eventually ended up going with this dark kind of paneling thing. So yeah, so this dark kind of paneling. Here's the bathroom that I'm working on right here. It's I guess a decent sized bathroom for a cheap apartment, honestly, if I think about it. So this isn't an apartment that she owns. This is an apartment she rents for sure. And I wanted it to have, as I said, like really bad appliances and stuff. So you see this sink is kind of bad. The bathtub is kind of interesting. But she really loves the color pink, and the things she did buy or find and customize her home with, she definitely tried to get as much pink as possible. Pink is a color that makes her feel more like herself, makes her feel great, because for a long time her parents wouldn't let her wear pink because it's not a masculine color, stuff like that. So now that she's on her own, she can do whatever she wants. You can see I add a lot of clutter to my builds, a lot of details. I picked that mirror because I liked the pink flower stickers on it. I figured she would have maybe bought those at a dollar store and like stuck them on. It seems very much like a thing she would do. She's a very handy, kind of crafty sort of person. Very strong woman with lots of talents, honestly. I really like her. She's kind of like one of my dream role models, I guess. I like her a lot. Yeah, you see I tried to use a dirty floorboard here. Oh, and with the dining table, you can see I had a lot of trouble picking it because I wanted it to be a bad one because I feel like the apartment wouldn't necessarily come with one, so she probably had to get her own. So I wanted something that looked like it either came out of a dumpster, she got it from someone who didn't want it anymore for free, or something she'd built herself, or something really, really cheap that she could definitely afford. So yeah, and oh, here I'm picking a bed, and in the end I end up going with a bed that is hidden behind the debug menu in the hidden objects. It is one of those beds that you can get from dumpster diving and eco lifestyle. I felt like it really fit the whole vibe and also would make sense. You see it's got some stains on it, some tears on the corner of the mattress. So I feel like she managed to get that bed out of a dumpster. Yeah, that's the kind of vibe here. All the furniture, I wanted it to definitely look, it's either come out of a dumpster, she's built it herself, bought it super mega cheap, something like that. You can see I'm trying to add some meditation stuff into the house. It took me a while to figure out where I wanted to put it. In the end, I kind of ended up putting it in her room. She needed a laptop. I ended up finding a really dirty, nasty looking debug one. I assume she just fished it out of the garbage and repaired it because she's pretty handy. I feel like I could see her repairing or building her own laptop just because of how handy and like smart she is. Oh yeah, here I'm trying again to find a dining table that works. I end up kind of thinking that a folding dining table would work because those can be pretty cheap, I think. I don't know, I've never bought one obviously, but it feels like something that would be cheaper than just getting a wood one or something. So it's like a folding table. So I also got a lot of folding chairs in this house, or like little metal chairs. You can see me adding curtains here. It took me a while to place these kitchen curtains. I don't know why, but I really wanted some kitchen curtains here. I think, well, the windows look really weird without curtains sometimes. It depends on the window, but windows like this with no real texture to them, they look really weird. It took me ages to figure out what curtains to use because a lot of them were clipping and I didn't like that. Oh, and here I put plant vine curtain things from the Blooming Rooms kit around the windows. Now, don't get me wrong, I hate kits. They're so overpriced. But I did use the Blooming Rooms kit a lot for this build. It was, I just kind of had to. You know, I have to admit I loved a lot of the stuff in it and used it. It's just, like, the kits I'd probably be okay with if they were just a bit cheaper. Like, if they were half the price, maybe I would see them as worth the price. But yeah, you can see I'm a big clutter person in The Sims. And one of my big things with Sims builds is I find a lot of them look a bit like doll houses. Because, realistically, a real house isn't necessarily as neat and tidy as some of our builds sometimes look, you know? So I feel like in a real house, everybody has some stuff everywhere. Like, you have some shoes, you have some coat hangers. Like, sure, your Sims don't need them, but it makes the house feel more alive. It makes it feel like someone actually lives there. I don't know. Rather than it just being a dollhouse. But yeah, you can see I'm adding a lot of makeup, nail polish, and there's gardening tools on the floor there. So very important things to her would be gardening tools and makeup. Things she'd want to invest money in is definitely makeup. I'm assuming she probably bought some from home. Back when she got an allowance from her parents, she probably used a lot of it to buy makeup because that's one of the big reasons I assume she got kicked out, because she started wearing a lot of makeup and her parents were like, a good Chinese boy wouldn't be wearing makeup, and then get mad at her because of that. But, you know, yeah, so she's very much, yeah, it took me a while to try to figure out what shoes to have near the door. It sounds kind of dumb, but I really wanted shoes to be by the door. The Dream Home Decorator pack I've used a lot for building as well. I've got to admit, now that I've got it, when I first saw it, I'm like, I can live without this. But these kits that I have and the Dream Home Decorator kit, I got them as gifts, so I didn't have to pay for them. I wouldn't have bought them if I had to use my own money, to be honest. Maybe the Dream Home Decorator kit eventually when it was on sale, something like that. Yeah, there are some packs that I may never buy or get, so I guess, I don't know, don't expect content with those. Yeah, because I'm not a game changer or like a big YouTuber or anything. I can't afford to buy all the packs all the time. I just buy the ones I think are actually good. There we go, some clutter in the hallways. Yeah, I really love how this build eventually turns out. And you see the kitchen, I tried to do a thing with the platforms so the kitchen is like elevated. I haven't done too much with platforms. I think this is like my second, third-ish time using them. I haven't used them that many times. This area here that I'm working on, I'm about to turn into a living room. It was really important to me that she had one. I feel like all houses kind of need some sort of space where you can just chill out. But I also had a lot of trouble here trying to decide what couches or seating things to put because, again, a lot of the couches look too nice to be in this kind of build. There's not a lot of grungy stuff in the game that I felt like. And a lot of it, again, is trouble matching swatches. There's so many different shades of white that don't go together, don't match, and you can tell. But yes, I was trying to figure out what kind of couch to give her and stuff like that. I wanted her to have a TV. I wanted to give her one of those cheap eco lifestyle TVs that you would fish out of a dumpster for sure. And I do end up giving one to her. You can see me, yeah, I'm trying to pick between the different colors. I eventually go with this kind of brown one. I also add pillows because I feel like she want places for guests to sit, but she wouldn't be able to afford armchairs and stuff. So I do end up having a lot of pillows and kind of things instead because those are probably a lot cheaper. I don't know. I'm not someone who's bought furniture a lot. And yeah, for the table, I wanted something that looked, for the TV, I wanted it to be resting on something that looked kind of dirty or grungy or something. So I ended up going with a crate because I feel like you can find a crate anywhere. If you wanted to put your TV on something, you could use a crate. And this kind of handmade looking table. Yeah, you just, lots of stuff going on. You guys have to let me know if you think this time lapse is going too fast. I'm sorry if it is. It's just there's so much stuff I'm trying to condense into this build because this is, what you don't know is this is more than 8 hours of building in-game, and I'm trying to squeeze it into less than half an hour. So, you know, it's a lot to cram in. I'm really scared for when we get to even bigger builds. Like, this is quite a small build if you think about it. It's just some interior of an apartment. What am I going to do when I start building things like a public lounge or a library? Like, those are going to be a lot longer. Would you guys be okay with a longer video if you get to get a more slow time lapse? Do you like this kind of format where I'm just voicing over a speed build? I just wanted to try this out because I think it makes it easier to record and you'd probably get more content this way. Because a lot of what I really struggle with is editing. Editing takes a long time for me and can be kind of stressful, so it stops me from making stuff. Oh yeah, here I'm using a tarp, dirty mat, that kind of stuff. There you go, you can see I'm starting to add stains and stuff. I end up adding a lot of cracks and tears and stains and things. Again, it was really important to me that this place looked like a really bad, cheap apartment because that's what Mei Ling would be able to afford at this stage in her life. But she's a very wonderful person and she's very entrepreneurial, very strong. And not only that, she's happy with this. She's happy with how she's going. Her independence was so important to her. She came from a very rich family with and lived in a big mansion that her family's owned for generations, and this is better to her because she gets to be herself. This is all the stuff she really needs to feel happy. A computer and her plants, honestly. And stuff for survival, like food. This is what's important to her. Yeah, you can see I'm adding more kitchen clutter, more plants, I think. Adding to that meditation area. Lots more plants. I can just see me looking through for plants and things to use. The catalog is really hard to navigate sometimes, especially with the debug items. You can't clone them. Sorry. Yeah. The other thing is those lights that are up right now, those bright ones, they're not going to stay there. It was just so I could see what I was doing while I was building. I wanted them to be really bad. But yeah, the Blooming Rooms kit coming in here again. All these plants coming in. I wanted this cheap fireplace thing over there. Yeah, you can just see me doing stuff with plants. I ended up mismatching all the chairs because I felt like she would have got them from different places, so they wouldn't all match up. So she has one handmade looking chair, some fold up chairs, one wooden chair, all kinds of things. And I felt like these flower pots and things, she gets them from everywhere. She just finds what she can. Now, to her, flower pots and things are definitely worth the investment because she earns money from selling seeds of plants and things now, because it's a way for her to make money and do something she loves. Yeah, see here, I considered using these plants to make a sort of partition thing, but in the end I end up scrapping it because I figured that your landlord wouldn't be too happy if you put in these plant partition things, whereas if you put in like plant pots, your landlord can't complain too much because you could just move them, right? Potted plants aren't harming the building itself. And things like wall plants, you get a, like hanging plants, you just get a, I know from experience because I've had my own, you just get a wire and one nail and you nail them in super strong and you're all good. So, I don't know. I ended up removing those plants there. Yeah, you see I'm trying to fit in all the plants I can into all this space, get some variety, lots of hanging plants. The other thing is I really wanted the house to be functional as well, so I do end up playtesting it at the end. You'll probably see some of that on video because I do have to make adjustments based on things that don't work, because plants were blocking them or something like that. So yeah, you see me adding more and more plants, trying to figure out what to put in, what to leave out. Lots of move objects going on here. Lots of move objects cheats to cram all these plants in here. Oh my, yeah, I forgot, just like seeing some of this is just, I remember it took so much work. I actually filmed this a while back, and because I was actually planning on putting out a different video in this series before this one, but it's taking so long to edit and I haven't been able to get anything out to you guys, so I figured this one's gonna be quick to edit. Why don't I just do this one first? So yeah, that's what's happening now. Again, I don't know if you like this format. I'm kind of just rambling about the build and stuff in general. Again, I think I saw Little Simsy or someone else do a speed build like this, and I was like, you know, I think I could do that format. Maybe I should try it. Maybe it would let me work well for this series. You guys have to let me know. Do you like this format? Hate this format? Wish it was slower? Hate my voice? I don't know. Just let me know. I love feedback. Feedback is always really helpful. And your opinions on the build might be cool too. So yeah, make sure you leave some comments for me. Comments are my favorite part. Obviously, likes and subscribes are great and all, but what I really care about, comments. I want to know how to improve. I don't ever really expect to be a big YouTuber. I just want to improve my video making skills, improve my building skills, and show off to those of you who are here. So yeah, like we're moving on to plants again. More plants. It took me a while to really decide what plants to keep, what plants to remove. Oh, and yeah, I had to put a trans flag in there somewhere because she would obviously have one. I just wasn't sure where I would end up putting it, but it was important to me that it was in there. Yeah, the kitchen shelves were such a problem for me because all the kitchen shelves have different whites and they just don't match. It was driving me mad. I was trying to get all the shelves to match and I couldn't. I really like these butterfly decorations. I use them way too much in lots of different builds and rooms. Yeah, I also really wanted those hearts somewhere. I think, yeah, calendar down there. Again, a lot of little details. It's always very important to me to have lots of details in my builds. I'm adding in things like pipes. I'm trying to figure, again, it was very important to me to have this flag somewhere, and it took me a while, but I eventually found the perfect place for it right by the door. I figured she'd want to show it off. She wanted anyone walking into her home to know, hey, I'm trans, and I'm very proud of it. Yeah, she has her hearts. I was trying to figure out where to put them. Again, a lot of this is me trying to figure out where to put things. I know she loves, in her old room, she had a bunch of posters and stuff in the room in her parents' house. That build is actually elsewhere on the save file. I even tore that house in a different video if you want to see the house that she originally lived in. Oh yeah, I wanted to add this painting. I forget the artist who made it for The Sims, but it was great, that update where we got this cool like pride painting. I absolutely love it. It's in the base game. Use it in some of your builds. It's really good. Oh yeah, you see here I'm adding the cracks. I'm trying to make it look very run down, grungy, kind of icky. The other thing was I was trying to make sure that I put cracks in places that would sort of make sense. Like, for example, these wall rips would be, with the wood on the back, would be in places that would be where the wooden beams of the house kind of structure is, whereas the cracks would be on things like tile, probably. Oh, there's a mouse hole there too. And these kind of holes and chipping in the paint would be in wallpaper. I don't know, like I put way too much thought into where these decorations would go. I ended up, I was also trying to decide how much was too, like, overkill. How many was too many and how many were too few. I end up removing some, adding some, removing some again. It was a lot of trial and error for this. But yeah, you can see I'm trying to definitely make it look a bit grungier, put some wall stains. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted this place to, I had to make sure it was the right vibe. I don't know. Yeah, there's not too much to say, I think, at this point. Just cluttering everything up. I don't know. I really like this build. I'm really excited to hear your thoughts, guys. Yeah, I'm just cluttering, adding plants, trying to figure out what to put in. I don't know, I love it. I like how it went. Oh, the other thing, just as a fun little fact, the cow plant I ended up naming Ying Yu 2. Or Mei Ling named it that, and that is because that's her sister's name, and she does really miss her sister. Her sister is a toddler, and she does love her sister. It's the only family member that she likes. The others she all has a negative sentiments towards. She really hates them because they've treated her terribly. Oh yeah, you see me loading here to test it out. I'm just loading in. We're bringing Mei Ling here into live mode to test things, I think. Oh, first lighting. Lighting is important. I told you, those lighting, I think I told you that lighting wouldn't stick. The lighting I used originally to make it so I could actually see, yeah, that wasn't gonna stay. I was trying to find cheap, bad-looking lighting. Eventually, I kind of just ended up putting these single light bulbs hanging from the ceiling because I feel like that's the definition of terrible lighting. I don't know. And I also end up reducing the amount of them. Here I put quite a few of them. Again, moving wall cracks and things around, trying to decide where they should go. Really second guessing myself, trying to figure out where would make sense to have them. Chipping. I also tried to put some of the scuff marks and things behind furniture, so it looks like either Mei Ling is trying to use her furniture to cover them up, or that the furniture caused it by being moved around. That kind of thing. Mei Ling is a pretty neat person. She's not like a neat freak, but she does try and keep things organized. So yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of trying to decide what's too much and what's atmospheric, and I don't know. Yeah, trying to figure out how many plants is too many plants, because I'm sure for Mei Ling, no amount of plants is too many plants, but there is a limit to how many plants you can fit in your tiny little apartment, right? I mean, in real life, we have smaller apartments, but this is probably the smallest kind of apartment you're going to get in The Sims 4. Because Sims 4 houses, you can get cheaper apartments than you can in real life. The Sims world is way better than the real world, we all know that. But yeah, you can see the lighting's getting a lot dimmer as I replace it with pretty bad lighting. The only room that's fairly bright is the bathroom because the one light bulb does a lot more in there. Currently, most of the rooms are just lit mainly by candles. I'm trying to... the lighting, I don't know, with this build really bothered me. And here, you see Mei Ling's there because I was playtesting it. And I found out that the couch and stuff didn't work. She couldn't sit on it at first because the plants were in the way. So it took me a minute. Yeah, here I am playtesting everything. I'm cooking on the stove. I'm testing the computer. I'm testing the meditation stool. I'm making sure that she can use the entire thing. Naming the plant. Anyways, that's the end of the speed build coming up. I'm about to show you a tour of the finished build. Now, I just figured out how to use the camera in-game to get these kind of more cinematic shots. I'm kind of doing a walkthrough of the house. Here's the front door. You can see the pride flag on the wall. And we're about to go into the bathroom. Here's the bathroom. You can see it's kind of dirty, kind of grungy. But overall, Mei Ling has done a good job getting all the stuff she needs for it. Yeah, the toilet, all the stuff. Yeah, there's the shoes, the mouse hole. I very much wanted to make sure you guys saw the pride flag. I may have overdone it a bit. I mean, you have eyes, but I was very happy with it. Yeah, this is the kind of living space in the end. Fireplace, bad TV, candles, books, plants. There's like a little shelving unit there. There's the kitchen, and we step up onto the platform. There's the stove, the windows, fridge. You can really see all the dirt and grime and chipping and stuff. Here's her bedroom. You can see her computer, her plants, her little meditation area. Yeah, that's basically the whole apartment. That was the tour and the speed build. Let me know if you like this style of video, and I hope you have a lovely day, guys. Don't forget to keep on dreaming and keep on simming. Bye, guys!